Thank you, Ron, for giving us this opportunity to present Cloudbrink. Hey, everyone. Good morning, good evening. I am Manohar. I'm the head of products at Cloudbrink. Cloudbrink is a modern platform which provides a high-speed network connectivity from the user to their enterprise applications or application or the data wherever the users are working from. Typically, as Ron said, while most of the employees are being asked to come back to office, there are a significant percentage of the users, like road warriors or users who are working from a conference or they're attending a conference, but they have to access their application. There are some companies like insurance or banking where the enterprise services are being taken to the end user wherever they are, right? Like more of a doorstep service, right? So there are a lot of such use cases where the user is on the road. They don't have a very reliable Ethernet or 10 gig type of a link that connects their laptop to the enterprise applications or data, but they are expected to perform their job very efficiently. In those kind of cases, the traditional access technologies like VPN or the SD-WAN, which is limited to branch offices, they might not be super helpful. That is where Cloudbrink comes into play, which provides a personalized SD-WAN type of an optimization for each and every user from their laptop or the mobile device. So in this particular session, I will cover a high-level overview of what Cloudbrink does, how some of our customers are using Cloudbrink along with other Microsoft solutions, and finally, there are some generic key use cases where Cloudbrink can be employed. So today, typically, when you talk about a hybrid worker who is working from either home or a hotel room or airport, somewhere outside the office network, you can break down his end-to-end connectivity into three segments. One is the endpoint is connecting through a Wi-Fi access point or a 5G or a 4G connection. He's connecting to the internet ISP. And from there over the internet, the traffic is going towards the application. And then finally, very close to the application, it could be a SaaS application or it could be a private application hosted in a physical data center or a cloud data center, right? That's the last piece. Typically, what happens is on the server side, which is either a SaaS application or on the data center, right? On-prem or cloud, the IT team has a lot of control there. So they deploy they deploy powerful machines to make sure the application is running smoothly. They have a lot of bandwidth available there. There is not a much problem on the application side. Similarly, on the mid-mile network, nowadays the internet is very good, reasonably reliable, and there is a plenty amount of bandwidth also available. But the last mile, which is from the user's laptop to the ISP router, which could be a Wi-Fi access point or a 4G or a 5G, this is typically a consumer grade internet connectivity. There is no SLA guarantee that typically ISPs provide. Yes, you do have plans like you have plans for 100 Mbps, 500 Mbps, or sometimes 1 gig, but there is not like a strict enforcement of that speed. Okay. So what we believe is the last mile network is one which is causing the application performance to degrade. Why? Because this network segment experiences packet loss. There is higher amount of delay or jitter. If you are using a Wi-Fi access point, there is a chance of weak signal due to several reasons. The user is slightly away from the Wi-Fi access point, or there is other type of disturbances in the network, etc. Right? And when you have all these issues, that leads to very slow or unresponsive applications. If you are using a virtual desktop, the application desktop will always hang, or if there is a lot of delay. If you are in a virtual meeting, audio video meetings, the audio or video gets stuck. And similarly, any other enterprise application like Salesforce or on-prem private applications, they don't respond very quickly. So what Cloudbrink has done is we create something called as a overlay tunnel on your existing physical networks. From the user point of view, there is no need for them to change any of the network that they are using. The IT team need not change anything on the application side. They need not change anything on the network side as well. Once the user installs a Cloudbrink agent on their endpoint, we create something called as an overlay tunnel, which goes all the way from the endpoint to all very, very close to the private application. It could be a SaaS or a private application. And this virtual tunnel, where the Brink agent is the key component, and we have a data path service also, which is called as Cloudbrink Fast Edges. These two components have the network intelligence about the end user's last mile. We detect whether there is a packet loss, what is the average latency the user is experiencing, are there any network fluctuations, etc. And based upon the current situation of the network, we try to proactively take some corrective measures. So that, for example, if there is packet loss, we try to duplicate the packet so that packet loss can be recovered. If there is high latency, we change we switch the path that the user is taking towards the ISP. We try to do several things. Bottom line, the end goal is to make sure that the underlying physical network challenges are not exposed to the application layer. The application can be a Zoom application. It could be your web browser, which is accessing Salesforce. It could be a virtual desktop agent, which is accessing a virtual desktop. Anything could be an application, right? That application will not experience or not even see the underlying network issues because of our overlay net tunnels. When that happens, the application is performing at its optimal speed. Whatever the available bandwidth the user laptop has, it will try to use maximum of it so that user gets the best experience. But contrast that with any other VPN solution or the zero trust network access solutions or the so-called SaaS solutions, none of them do this one. They just use the existing physical network as it is. And if the physical network has challenges, that directly impacts the application performance as well. So this is what Cloudbrink is doing in a nutshell. While we do make sure the application performance is great, we have not compromised on the security. We have all the capabilities that are required for a zero trust security solution. Things like user authentication, device authentication, role-based access control, least privileges, SDP compliant access to the private applications. And we use mutual TLS 1.3 secure communication across all these segments. So security-wise, we are, I would say, best or better than any other zero trust access solution out there. And at the same time, we do provide best application performance also. That is the Cloudbrink value. So today, let's see some of our customers, how they are using Cloudbrink along with other Microsoft services solutions. Okay. Obviously, the Cloudbrink agent itself is available on all the Windows platforms, Windows 11 and Windows 10. We make sure that we have 0-day support for any new operating system. We integrate with the device management solutions like Intune. And we also integrate with Microsoft Entra to make sure user authentication is taken care of. So the customer need not recreate or replicate any of their user identity or the group information related settings on Entra to any other place. We just leverage the same thing to make sure user is authenticated and then provide a secure access to their applications and the data. The second thing where we have a tighter integration is Microsoft Conditional Access. As you guys might already know, Microsoft Conditional Access provides a set of rules that the user as well as the endpoint must be compliant before they can get access to any of their applications or data. What Cloudbrink does is we can take the output of the conditional access, Microsoft Conditional Access, and based upon that output, we can add some additional checks that Cloudbrink provides natively. We call it as device security posture assessment. Both of these together will decide whether the user has access to a particular application or not. So for example, in case of Microsoft Conditional Access, you can check whether what is the compliance status of the laptop, or is it a domain, is it a corporate managed laptop or not, etc. On top of that, using the Cloudbrink's device security posture assessment, customers can check whether the device has got a proper certificate issued or not, or they can actually run some custom scripts to check, okay, on this device, is a particular registry is set or not, is there any blacklisted process running or not, etc. And only when both of these conditions are true, then only the user will be able to access their application. So this is the other second use case where Microsoft Conditional Access is leveraged by the Cloudbrink customers today. Then there is a third one, which is Microsoft Office whitelisting, access control. In the sense, Microsoft Office 365 provides a ability to whitelist the source IP addresses from which it will accept the traffic for a particular tenant. So in our case, what happens is we make sure that we have, as I was saying earlier, we have a data path service. We call it as fast edges. These are globally highly distributed network endpoints or points of presence. You can call it as POPs as well. And user is supposed to access any enterprise application like Microsoft Office 365 only over these data path services. Why it is important is because by that time the user got access to these enterprise POPs or the data path POPs, the user would have already gone through the user authentication, the device security posture assessment, the conditional access check. All those checks have been passed. That's why he's able to access the Cloudbrink POPs, right? Now on Microsoft conditional 365, you can put some restrictions so that user can access these applications only if he is coming from a certain set of IP addresses. And those IP addresses will be the Cloudbrink provided POP IP addresses. That way, the enterprise can be assured that, only if the user is successfully authenticated, device is authenticated, everything, the user is actually accessing Office 365 and not from any other random desktop or from any other random network. So those are some of the type of security things that the customers are adding on top of their existing security solutions. And finally, there are a lot of customers who are deploying their private applications in Azure VNets, which are like virtual data centers. So Cloudbrink provides a option to access the private applications also remotely and without the hassle of any of the IPsec VPNs or regular traditional SSL VPN overhead. Without any of those hassles, you can expose the private applications to the internet without any security risk. So for that, we deploy a component called connector. It's a virtual machine which sits on the customer's Azure VNet. And from there, it opens a outbound connection to the Cloudbrink Edge service. That way, there is no IP address or port that the user has to open on their Azure VNets. And of course, the performance benefit which I was referring to, it is applicable for private applications as well as to the SaaS applications also. So these are some of the use cases where our customers are using Cloudbrink along with Microsoft services. In general, what are the other use cases, right? There are a lot of other use cases. For example, there are a lot of customers using Azure service, Azure Files service or OneDrive to exchange data. For example, one of our customer belongs to real estate industry who have these building architecture blueprints, which are 1 GB, 2 GB of size. When they want to exchange these files with a lot of their other peer users or to their potential customers, they use the Azure Files or OneDrive service. To make these transactions very fast, they are using Cloudbrink so that, even if that salesperson who is sitting from a hotel room is trying to download a new blueprint, it does not take like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or it just gets timed out, right? It doesn't happen that over Cloudbrink, it happens in a matter of maybe a few seconds. Then there are a lot of customers who are using virtual desktops today, primarily to kind of manage their businesses in a much more efficient manner. But virtual desktops are very, very prone to network issues. It is very easy to then blame that the performance of Azure Virtual Desktop or any other virtual desktop is bad, whereas in fact the reason for the bad experience was the network. So we try to make sure that the network challenges are overcome, so the virtual desktop is running smoothly. As shown here, even at with 20% packet loss, we can make sure that the virtual desktop runs very smoothly. Similarly, just like many other virtual meeting tools, Microsoft Teams is another tool where even at 40% packet loss, we can make sure that the Microsoft Teams audio and video quality is top notch. And other SaaS applications like Salesforce, SharePoint, Workday, whatever is the SaaS application, we will try to make sure those applications also respond very fast and perform very fast. In conclusion, what Cloudbrink provides today to the customers is a great quality of experience to their users. So in order for users to be productive from anywhere, they should be able to work very, very efficiently from any location, whether it is from home, office, or airport, or whatever it is, right? So to get that in-office type of an experience wherever they are, Cloudbrink is very much essential. At the same time, we don't want to compromise on security. We provide all the zero trust security capabilities and conditional access controls so that the access control to the applications and data is very tight. Together, this performance and security, that way the customer need not do a trade-off. Today, if you see a lot of customers, when when they go very deep into security, the user experience gets compromised, or if they want to give the flexibility to the user, then there is a security risk associated with that. Those kind of trade-offs, Cloudbrink can completely eliminate. Okay. So, and if you want to see more data about what Cloudbrink offers, how we can collaborate with you, etc., please access cloudbrink.com at Angelbeat. You'll get a lot of data over there. There is a quick video to walk you through that. And also there is a lot of contact information on our website. With that, I'll stop here for any questions, or back to you, Ron.